Alright, and we're back for another League of Legends Xin Zhao replay. This time I will be playing Xin Zhao in the jungle, and it was played at 1560 ELO. So we're just waiting for this to load up. Looks like we're playing against a slightly higher ranked team in this one, and that's what I recall from looking at the scores after the game. You can see from last season there are 2 more golds than our team has right now. Not that it makes a huge difference, it seems like, in the game. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I start off 1 boot, 3 health pots, which is pretty standard start for the jungle. There are some other options that you can do. Another common one is cloth armor and 5 health pots, but I haven't seen that very often in Season 2. It was pretty common in Season 1 though. Alright, so we're just speeding it up to start the game off. I'm going to start blue here. I do have the option of starting red, and
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I think I like starting red better when I'm on purple side, because if you start red you can get a nice gank level 2 on top lane, and the problem with trying to gank bottom lane if you start red and try to gank at level 2 is that they're definitely going to ward it. Like, there's no way they're not going to ward it. So they'll see you coming, and it's going to just waste your time, basically. You do also have the option of, if you start red on blue side, you can gank middle, which is also what you could do if you started purple. And that is actually a strong option. You need to look at who you're facing. So it would have been pretty decent to start red and go try to kill Teemo at level 1. He'd be level 1, and I'd be level 2, and my lane partner would be level 2. And I think it's also actually, you also have to look, again, like if you want to gank middle, you have to look at who the person you're ganking with. So it's really nice to gank with Ryze, because Ryze has a snare, so it makes ganking with him much easier. So lanes with snares, slows, stuns, things like that make ganking much easier. Here I just asked for a leash on blue, usual stuff. Nicely, Ryze helped me with my race and also gave me a leash. I usually like to get a smiteless on blue if possible, but if they don't, I do need to smite it because I only have 2 health pots left, and it would have cost me way too much health to do that. Here I'm going top right away because I know that Lee Sin is trying to gank top, and I see him. He actually sees me first, but that's okay. And we just trade damage here. Luckily, their laning, his laning partner isn't really paying attention. If he came, I might have died. So I'm basically out of health pots now, and my health is pretty low. I see that Teemo is low, and again we have a Ryze, so I'm gonna just counter jungle. We have this ward here, which is good, so I know that this is pretty safe, and it's actually not safe. Luckily, Teemo dies, and so like Ryze does a good job killing him, so I didn't die there, which I could have easily done. I see him here, and he misses both of his Qs. Maybe he probably could have killed me if he didn't miss them, but I was just waiting, trying to bait that out, and then I just E'd on him and then Q'd him. So a pretty risky play on my part. I think Lee could have killed me if he didn't miss his Qs and if he went hard on me, but he didn't, so I'm now pretty far ahead of him. I took if you can kill the jungle early, it gives you a pretty significant lead. It's actually better usually to kill the jungle than anyone else in the very early game, because he gets set back so far because he loses his buffs early, which are really important for clearing the jungle fast. So now I'm just going to try to do a full clear on my jungle. So I got some health pots and move speed boots. I could have gotten extra gun to bully my Madrids, but I wanted to just be able to run and clear my jungle faster and also be able to gank more quickly. So I just head up top because I saw the lane was pushing and I was gonna gank Jarvan, but I realized that he had gone back, so I said, okay, this is not happening, let's gotta gank Teemo because he's low. And so I run in behind him. In this game, like, he doesn't really pay attention to what's going on the map, and I miss everything, but like, that's okay. I missed my E, I hit a creep. And I like need to work on my accuracy because I've been missing a fair amount of auto attacks and some spells and stuff like that. So you know what happens, like Sometimes it's just difficult to click on them. Here I'm just clearing out my race. I don't know that Lee's there, so I'm just gonna clear my jungle, and Ryze is just gonna try to push this lane in. We see I put this word up here so we can see that when their top is coming down. So I just ping Ryze back to let him know that that's what's happening. So it looks like he's actually gonna try to go on him, and he misses his everything. He tries flashing, and then I run up right away to try to save him if they go on him, if he goes any harder, but he doesn't. So I just go back to mid and farm that, because it'll give me more XP and gold than just trying to clear my jungle. So I also know that Teemo's pretty low, so if he like overextends, I can just dive on him. So that's what I'm thinking about while I'm clearing these creeps out. I'm just trying to get every last CS as possible, because jungles, they actually have get very little gold. So anytime you can get a little extra CS, or you can get GP10 items and things like that, that's really helpful for the jungle, because they have a lot of difficulty getting enough gold to complete their builds. Obviously, if you can get a lot of kills, that's helpful, but that's not always the case. Sometimes you gank and you're just wasting your time, and you're not getting as much XP as you could. So you just have to be aware that with a jungle, you're probably gonna have a lot of trouble completing your build. So here, I'll just show you the gold right now. You can see that I have 700 less gold than bottom lane, and I have about 100 less gold than top lane, and top lane isn't farming that well. Both of these lanes should have a lot more gold than me, and you'll see that that gold difference progresses again, continues. That even though I get most of my creeps, you get all your creeps in the jungle, you are going to be behind in gold. So again, Teemo overextended. He's not freezing his lane, and that's really bad against the combination of myself and Ryze, because Ryze is going to snare him. If he overextends, then I can dive on him. And you also notice that I didn't come from here, because that gives him more time react. I came from here, so like if you look at the difference, I come out around here versus here. So I'm much closer to his tower, and he's farther away from his tower. So it gives me more time to kill him, and it gives him less time to react. So there I just gave Ryze the blue. You can give it to resourceless champions, that is champions that use energy instead of mana, to reduce their cooldown reduction. But because especially on champions like Xin that don't really need the mana or the CDR, but it's also gives you extra gold and XP that again, it's really difficult for you to get back. Here I'm thinking about ganking Teemo again, and I think I saw Lee there, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I did see him. So I'm just going in here for the counter gank, and I'm coming around to try to gank Teemo. So I'm just waiting for him to push up, as he's been doing constantly, and it looks like he's actually going to do that. So I'm just waiting here. I don't really have much left in the jungle to clear, so that's what I'm just waiting for. And then as soon as he pushes up, I try to go in, and he gets out in time, because I don't know if he could have killed him, but if Ryze was playing a little further up, trying to zone him a little bit, which I think he should be doing because he's very far ahead, then Teemo would have died. So that failed, so there's nothing really to gank. Top lane is pushing, bottom lane is gankable because it's pushing back towards us, so that's certainly a possibility. I could gank bot lane. And it looks like I'm trying to go top. I don't know if that's the best idea right now. I don't know. We don't have any wards, so we don't know that Lee's trying to counter gank, and that's actually turned out really well. It's just, this wasn't like brilliant planning on my part. It was just kind of luck that I came up here at the same time Lee was coming up here. So I just wait for these creeps to clear out and then go into this bush. Here I'm just waiting for Yorick to get jumped on before I go in. If you go in, like, as soon as you see them, they can get away. Obviously Lee is dead here. There's no way he's getting away. He could potentially safeguard to a creep, and so we get a splash out when I flash. I don't think it was worth it to flash. I think I should have just waited for Yorick to use the slow on him, and then we could have caught up on him, so he had no choice but to flash. So I'm just stealing a little bit of their jungle, and I tell Yorick that we should push this tower down. And York, this is certainly a decision you need to make, and I don't always agree, I think it's actually pretty difficult to decide what you want to do in this case. If you leave the tower up, you extend the laning phase, and if you're winning the laning phase, that means you're just going to push that advantage. So he asked me not to kill the tower, so I just steal some creeps here and let the tower deny the creep. So his idea here was that, okay, I'm winning this laning phase very well, so if we leave the tower up, I can just keep extending this advantage. So that's his idea. I just happened to see Lee here, and he wasn't really paying attention, so I got an easy free kill on him, and I just went on him. So like, that's one thing that happens when you're not really paying attention on the minimap. You know, if you just right click somewhere to move there, people can be just wandering through your jungle randomly, and they can just kill you. So like, this happens a lot, you know, for junglers, and also if you're like, let's say in mid and I'm running down to bottom lane, I can just right click and be watching the fight to see what's going on, and that's important to know like how the fight is going, what summoners have been used. But at the same time, people can just be like, their mid could be going down too, and you can just not notice him. So it's important to keep an eye on your character as you move down between as you move between lanes. So here I'm just buying more items. I decided to go for Trinity Force this game, and I can't complete any of the items, so I get the Sapphire Crystal and the attack speed. I don't think I think the extra AP would have been more useful on Lee, because he doesn't really need more mana. Like his spells are very cheap, so like he doesn't need the mana to be effective. So we just killed mid, and so we're also much stronger than them. So I tell our team to go to Dragon, because it's basically free as long as our team comes. So that's what I'm doing. Even if the 3 members of their team come, like they're Lee is 2 levels behind me, and the bottom lane is also a level behind each of our characters. So this dragon was definitely free. Like if they tried to contest it, they would have just died and we would have gotten dragon anyway. I know that blue's up and I see it, but my team isn't coming, so I just try to kill Lee, and then I get his ulti out, which is good. But I don't try to steal blue or anything, because I've made this mistake several times trying to steal blue. Every time I've tried to do it, if they know I'm there, like they just kill me. So I just wait for my team to come, and then we just kill them. And if my team wasn't coming, then I know that we can't fight it. Here, I use my E to dash out of Nunu's ulti, and then we just kill Nunu here. So that was just them misplaying. If they had come right away, we couldn't have taken the blue, and that would have been fine. You know, they secure their blue. But since Ryze came, and I knew like I was keeping an eye on bottom lane while this fight was going on to see if they were coming or not, and I realized that they weren't coming right away, that meant that it was fine to fight them and kill them, because we had Xin. Like, you have to know how much burst and how quickly your champion can kill the enemy team. So since I knew that we could kill them very quickly, it was certainly worth it to stick around. Here, this turret is free, and I definitely think we should get it to get more map control. Again, like if you want to extend the laning phase, you can do that, but I usually like getting towers over extending an advantage in the laning phase, because especially if you're winning like a bunch of your lanes, if you group, you're just going to be even stronger than them, so you can just get more towers and keep it snowballing the game out of their control. So here, let's see. So back to the gold. Even though I have 5 kills, which is, you know, much like I've been killing pretty much non-stop this entire game, like 3 kills a minute, and 4 assists, I have less gold than bot lane, and I should have less gold than mid lane and top lane. So they're built like in comparison to like their mid lanes, like all their solo lanes should have more gold. So I should be like relatively weak compared to the enemy team. In this case, I'm not, but you know that's usually what happens in your jungle if you're not like way ahead. So here I'm just trying to get more CS, which is pretty important just to get whenever you have like a chance to get CS to get it. And a lot of times like it's easy to be lazy, and I certainly do this too, where you're like, okay, whatever, like, I don't need to last hit when it's late in the game. Like, it's easy to like remember, okay, I need to last hit, it's early in the game, I need as much CS as possible. But like late in the game, it's like really easy to just like use your spells and not care too much about every CS, but it's actually very important to you know, like, let's say like instead of like getting, you know, all 6 of the creeps in this wave, you only get 3 or 4. You know, that's like 50% less gold, and that adds up, you know, over the game. You know, you're just giving yourself 50% less gold. You know, obviously kills factor into it and assists too. I see Teemo just backing there, so that's another thing. If you see an enemy champion trying to back, you should wait a little bit before going in on him, and hopefully he'll be in the shot bind. So in that case, he was just in the shot bind. I just come around and kill Xin here. We're like very far ahead at this point, and you know, you can make plays like that. Normally it's not like the greatest idea to like dive turrets and things like that, but if you're ahead, you know, it's fine. Obviously, a lot of times like I see people like they just tank random tower hits like when they have no need to do that. So like that's pretty important not to do that, not to just take random tower hits. I should have actually stayed top to secure this tower, especially since you can see that 2 people are bot, so you know it's a free tower basically. I wanted to counter jungle them because counter jungling really puts them behind, especially if you're pushing in and they can't really CS properly. So I think that would have been more effective than just getting the extra CS mid. Because we don't get this tower. I think we could have gotten the tower if I stayed up top. Again, I know that they're still too bot. Like, he can't kill her, so I don't know why he did that. Like, he's like way too far behind. Oh, she just flashed over that. That was pretty good. So yeah, another thing is if you're ahead, and they stick around at this tower, like, this is pretty common mistake that a lot of people make. They'll be like, okay, I got a tower here, I'm safe. If it's like pretty late in the game, like, the tower's not gonna kill them, and you can't really kite that well. So like, if there was just 2 of us, and then he was sticking around, you can just dive on them. If there's just one player there, it's like a pretty common mistake that people make. The thing that's nice about certain junglers is some of them have a nice ability to push towers, and Xin's Q does extra damage to towers, but not inhibitors. So you can use his Q to quickly clear towers, and that's what a nice thing about Xin is, that one of his bonuses is that he can clear lanes pretty fast with his attack speed bonus and his bonus to Q to towers. So here again, like, we just want to secure the. We don't need to do anything crazy. We don't need to take their double towers or anything like that. We're just gonna push our advantage and keep snowballing it, so it's just basically impossible for them to come back. We don't need to make risky plays. A lot of times when people get ahead, they're like, okay, I'm invincible. I don't need to worry about anything. I'm just gonna, you know, like 5-man dive their turrets instead of letting them keep making mistakes, the enemy team to keep making mistakes and slowly winning the game. You just think, okay, I just need to get more kills. Like, I'm just a god, no one can touch me. When it's much better just to, you know, keep snowballing your lead more and more out of control, so that they can't stop you. Here we could have, you know, tried to get these turrets, but instead we just said, okay, we're gonna just get this one turret, and we looked at the other turret, and Easy got out of position, and we caught him. So we just got him. Here, yeah, we just needed to focus that turret. And here we're not like trying anything crazy. Like, we're not like, these people are trying to dive into the fountain. I mean, you can do that. The game's over, but like there's no reason to do that. So we're just trying to end the game. I'm basically trying to end the game by pushing in these minions. And here they can actually kill us if they catch us. So I just flash because I don't want to die. And then when they overextend, I just make sure we clean up the rest of them so we can win the game. So here we're just pushing back into the turret. That's what I'm basically trying to do. If you kill the minions instead of the heroes, like, your minions will help you clear out the tower. If I stayed around too closely like here, like, even though I'm higher level, I have much better items. they can still kill me. So that's why I'm just slowly backing out, and I'm just gonna buy here. And they realize that the game is over, obviously. So I'm just gonna. There's like no way that they can win. But I mean, it's pretty. Also, again, it's pretty common for people just to be like, okay, like whatever, the game's over. It doesn't even matter. I'm just gonna stick around here and just die for no reason. And like that doesn't make any sense at all. Like you should just you know, keep extending your advantage instead of giving them chances to come back into the game. And it's not uncommon that, you know, that people can come back into the game. So okay, that was a Xin Zhao game. Ended at 20 minutes, so it's a pretty quick game, and obviously pretty dominant on our side. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the game. Any comments or feedback would be great. Thanks so much, and have a good day.